If I had to do everything all over again, I'm David Jaffe with BestStockStrategy.com, and in this video, you are going to learn how I would replay my life if I was a teenager. Remember, time is everything. You should do everything possible to not waste any time. As a result, I would not go to high school. Instead, I would get a GED. I would also not go to college. What I would do is I would get my real estate license, move to a large city, and start working hard to sell real estate. I would build up an email list, and I would start making quick money by doing rentals and also selling apartments and homes. Simultaneous to this, I would become a nightclub promoter. By doing this, it will take care of your social life, and it will also provide you with incremental money. Additionally, by being both a real estate salesperson and a nightclub promoter, you will inherently be exposed to tons of new people. So again, by being a real estate salesperson and by promoting nightclubs, you will be exposed to tons of new people and you will start making decent money. If you are not 21 years old, then it's completely okay. I know many people who started promoting nightclubs before they were 21. Technically, I think that you only need to be around 18 years old to start selling real estate. You can get your license online. And I'm sure that many nightclub owners will allow you to promote their club without even being 21. By being 17 or 18 years old and having your real estate license and promoting nightclubs, you should be able to make around $50,000 to $100,000 a year while building up your email list and networking with people who are extremely successful and who are much older than you. By doing this for around 2 or 3 years, you should be able to be worth a few $100,000. At this point, you can start speaking with some of your friends in the nightclub industry and some of your friends that you've met who are well capitalized, and then you can open up a nightclub. I can tell you from experience that some nightclub owners make around $5 million every single year because the margins and the markups on liquor are extremely high. One of my friends makes around $10 million every single year by owning a nightclub, and he also has access to some of the most beautiful women in the entire world. Furthermore, he doesn't even have to put forth much effort with these women. Instead, they flock to him because he has high relative social status. What I would also do in your early 20s is learn how to sell option premium. You can visit BestStockStrategy.com, enter in your email address, and receive over $400 of valuable free training that will help you learn how to trade options. What I would also do is start a YouTube channel because it would help increase your exposure and it will help build up your brand. So by combining these 4 things, selling real estate, promoting and opening a nightclub, trading and selling options, and by opening a YouTube channel, you should be able to easily be worth $1 million by the time you're 25. And you're not going to have to make that many sacrifices in order to obtain this amount of wealth. You'll be helping people, and also you'll be promoting your brand, and you will simultaneously be building up your email list so that you'll have a very strong network of contacts that you can carry forward with you as you get older to help you capitalize and bring in on your projects. Personally, I would not focus on Wall Street at all. I graduated from an Ivy League university. I worked really hard. I have about a 3.8 GPA. But if I had to do it over again, I would definitely not go into Wall Street. I sacrificed way too much. I worked with a lot of people who do not appreciate my sacrifices, nor do they appreciate my hard work. And I view Wall Street, even though it made me a lot of money, as something that was not worthwhile and was not worth the time. You want to focus on things that provide you with a substantial amount of freedom. You do not want to trade time for money. Again, you do not want to trade time for money. You also do not want to engage in false starts. A false start is something that you invest time in that you can't help leverage later on in life. For example, for me, investment banking was a false start because I dedicated 5 or 6 years of my life to it, but right now it is not helping me at all. As a result, everything that you do in your teens and early 20s, you should be able to leverage later on in your life. By leveraging real estate, nightlife, and YouTube, and also trading, those are skills that you can use 50 years from now. So all of those skills you want to hone, all of those skills you want to make sure that you improve upon. That way you can stack the odds in your favor to eventually reach your goal of being worth 10, 20, or $50 million. So again, if you have a goal of achieving wealth of $50 million, I would definitely not go to high school. Instead, I would get a GED. I would definitely not go to college. And instead, I would focus on selling real estate, focusing on rentals, and then also trying to sell apartments and houses. I would get into nightclubs. I would become a nightclub promoter. I made $5,000 every single week by promoting nightclubs. I made more money by promoting nightclubs than I did as a Wall Street investment banker. And I worked at some really high profile firms. I worked at Morgan Stanley, CIBC World Markets, and Petsky Prunier. So there were times where I was making around $250,000 a year as an investment banker, but because of taxes, I was making substantially more as a nightclub promoter. Then as you start building up an email list, and you also start making friends in the nightclub industry, I would open up a very exclusive nightclub. By doing that, you should be able to profit around $5 million a year. Now, if you split that up amongst your financial partners, maybe you personally will end up profiting around $1 million a year by owning a nightclub, but that's completely okay because you can replicate that model and open up more clubs. And for every club that you own, you'll probably end up profiting around $1 to $2 million a year, and it becomes much easier for every subsequent club that you open up. By trading and selling options, you can easily earn around 30% every single year, and also by establishing a YouTube presence, you're establishing a brand which you'll be able to access later on in life. So if you're in your early 20s, I would highly recommend making sure that you value your time, making sure that you value yourself, not engaging in anything that's a false start, and also investing in yourself by going into real estate, promoting nightclubs, learning a valuable skill by selling options, and also starting up a YouTube channel. There are some things which I personally believe are worthwhile, which you may or may not believe are worth your time. For example, I personally, if I was younger, would start taking dance classes. If you're living in New York City, I would take classes at Broadway Dance Center. I have done this and I found them to be extremely valuable. Additionally, there are very beautiful women who frequent Broadway Dance Center. You can then bring them out to your parties. So by learning a valuable skill like how to dance, you can also network with some of the beautiful people who attend Broadway Dance Center, and then you can bring them out to your parties. Whether you're in New York or Los Angeles or Miami or another large city, there always are going to be places that you can take dance classes. I personally believe that dancing is an extremely valuable skill and it will help you with your social interactions, and it's something that you can carry forward with you for the rest of your life. I also would not recommend buying real estate. The reason is that there are too many headaches, there are too many fees, and it's very illiquid. So me personally, I would not recommend buying real estate simply because it's very illiquid. You're parking your money in there and you're essentially betting on a rising real estate market. But what happens if your tenants stop paying rent like they currently are doing? So instead, what I would do is I would take the money that you are planning on buying real estate with and invest it in yourself and open up a nightclub, because as I've said previously, the margins on liquor are so incredibly high that it is not uncommon for you to be able to make a few $1,000,000 a year for every nightclub that you open. So to recap, what I would do if I was in my teens or I was in my early 20s, I would not go to high school. Instead, I would just take the course and get a GED. I would not go to college. I would sign up to be a real estate salesperson. I would move to a big city. I would start doing rentals and also sell apartments and houses. I would become a nightclub promoter. I would then use that to meet a lot of people and then leverage my contacts to, in my early 20s, open up a nightclub. I would start to learn how to sell option premium. And additionally, I would create and start a YouTube channel. I would focus on making as much money as quickly as possible when you're in your teens and early 20s, because if you amass a lot of wealth, that is one less thing that you have to worry about. Additionally, you're not going to have to ever trade time for money, and you're not going to have to be in a situation where you make tremendous sacrifices for a job that is not going to value your contributions. David Jaffe with BestStockStrategy.com. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to this channel, and I will break down in future videos more details on what exactly I would do with each of these individual components.